Hi everybody, it's Sharon here, and I'm delighted to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine, Jenny Howarth, who lives up in Yorkshire. Jenny is a homeopath, and we met through flower essences. So we've had the opportunity to share certain pathways. And today, Jenny's going to help us to understand a little bit more about how we can use homeopathy for our dental self-care. So over to you, Jenny, and thank you.
Okay, well, thanks very much for that, Sharon. I'm really pleased to be here and to share with you a few ideas on how homeopathy might be able to support you at times when you might be beginning to think you might have a problem with something to do with your teeth, or at times when you're actually undergoing dental treatment with a dentist. It's possible to find homeopathic dentists, you might know that, dentists who have done extra training after their dentistry, and you can find them on, it's the Faculty of Homeopathy, and you can also find homeopaths on the Society of Homeopaths. So what I thought I would do would be to run through a few of the common experiences around issues around teeth that might trouble us on a kind of, not an everyday basis, I hope, but a kind of the common sort of issues. Not looking to replace regular and quality dental care, but just thinking about ways that we might, as you said, Sharon, be able to support ourselves to avoid anything going wrong, and really giving our bodies the best prompts that we can. Now, I think that you know a little bit about homeopathy, all of those who are listening to this. If you want a bit of a refresher, certainly the Society of Homeopaths website will guide you towards that, just a summary of how homeopathy works. Essentially, a natural form of healing using plant, mineral and other bases for healing in a very dilute but specially prepared way. So it just helps to prompt our body back onto its healing path. Well, the body's always trying to get better, back into balance. And so the homeopathic remedies are just there as little prompts. That's how I see it.
Like that.
So there are thousands and thousands of remedies, as you doubtless know. And I thought best to look now at some of the what we might call acutes. So situations where you might just be having that first inkling of something feeling a bit funny in the mouth, and what could we do about that? Or things that might come back occasionally to niggle, but you know for a fact they're not a serious issue. So things around those areas. I'll perhaps say now that there will be a sheet that you will be receiving, hopefully, with this. Lovely. So you don't need to be desperately trying to scribble down these odd names. Remedies have sometimes the straight name of the plant, which is really helpful, or sometimes shortened versions of the Latin names, which is slightly less helpful, but at least everyone around the globe knows what you're talking about if you're using those names. And in terms of remedies, I buy most of my remedies from a company in Tunbridge Wells, Helios. Other providers are available. There's Ainsworth's, who are also very good. And I would say if you're looking to use homeopathy to support yourself, probably to look in this way at low potency. That means ones that haven't been strengthened and made more potent in their message, because we're looking at physical issues. We're not looking at the big emotional issues. So typically what I do, I brought one little pot. So I buy a little container that big, which is 4 grams of tablets from Helios, and you get about 40 tablets in there. It depends what you're wanting to do. If you're getting something the first time, because there's different strengths, and it's probably worth knowing that I think that a general strength to work with for this sort of issue could be 6C. That means it's been diluted 100 times. That's what the C is about.
Right.
6 times. That's how it's
Okay.
diluted. If it's something that comes back and niggles you more frequently, but you know it's not a major problem that you should be talking to a dentist about, then perhaps a 12C.
Okay.
And you could use that 12C over 21 days. That's a particular method of prescribing that is quite useful. The other thing with Helios is they do sell kits, which you might know about, little first aid kits of 18 remedies or 36 that are very handy. They have a little booklet in them, and they're easy to carry about, take on holiday for things that might arise. However, they won't necessarily have in the kits the remedies that will all necessarily be suitable for looking after mouth and oral issues. So thinking through the process, before going to the dentist, let's suppose we're going to the dentist. We might not need to go there if we've done all the other stuff. But if we're going to the dentist, we might just be feeling a little bit anxious.
Yeah.
We might think about it over the days before the appointment.
Yeah.
And it might be on our mind a bit. So by the time we get to the dentist, we're thinking, oh, I'm not in the best state for this. I wish I was feeling steadier and whatever. Take a deep breath and everything. But there are remedies that can help with that. So in particular, I would say that anticipation over the days before an appointment. Gelsemium, which comes straight from the plant. Gelsemium, it can be really useful. And yes, so that can really ease things. It's good. What I'm talking about with going to the dentist, obviously you can apply that to any similar circumstance where there might be that anticipatory anxiety, if you like.
Yeah.
People doing exams, all that sort of thing where you get worked up. The other very good remedy for anxiety, which might be a bit more suitable, say just before you're going to the dentist, is aconite, made from monk's hood. Very good at just calming the nerves and easing you into whatever's going to happen. So both of those, I think, work well over the period before going to see a dentist. Now, assuming that you're at the dentist and some work has been done, I was thinking through the types of things that you might need a bit of support with afterwards. It could be bruising, it could be swelling if some work has been done, in which case probably you've heard of arnica, which is just great for all sorts of bumps and bruises, at all ages, and healing in all ways. Healing externally if somebody's fallen over and had a bump, or internally, even after deep surgery, that can be useful. But also for healing if there's been some work done on the gums or teeth.
Right.
Equally, calendula, the other well-known healing remedy. Now, often these, because they're plants and they're well known, they're used as homeopathic remedies because of their history in healing. So you might be familiar with these plants as herbal remedies. And sometimes you might have a tincture. You may have the pure herbal tincture, say, of calendula. People sometimes do. And that can be quite useful to just rub on the gums. To help with the healing. Or dilute it in some water and put on. Or put that tincture into water and use as a mouth.
Great.
So that's the initial bruising, swelling. There may be some discomfort. I don't like talking about these things really, but let's suppose there may be a bit of discomfort. It could be throbbing, a throbbing pain anywhere in the body. The first remedy I think of is belladonna for that. And in that case, it's worse for heat. So if you have a hot drink, say, it makes it worse. And a similar remedy, coffea, made actually from coffee.
Oh wow.
Yeah. also very good for that throbbing pain, especially to do with mouth issues. And but with the coffee one, it's definitely better if you have a cold drink on it. So there's just a little bit of difference there. In fact, it's interesting. I made the remedy from coffee once.
Did you?
Somebody came to see me and they said, "Oh, I've just been overdosing it." It was daughter's boyfriend when they were still at school. "I've been overdosing on the coffee. I've had to." I said, "Oh, we can ease that down," I thought. And I actually, before his very eyes, I just diluted. And because of the way you make it, you dilute in a particular way.
Okay.
And so I made the homeopathic remedy from
Oh, wow, fantastic.
made black coffee, made the remedy, gave him that, and it really calmed him down. So that was quite interesting.
Oh, that's very
totally aside from dental things. Other discomforts to do with teeth, shooting pain, and this can apply wherever it is in the body, but obviously sometimes that happens with teeth. There's a remedy made from I call it magphos. I think it's magnesium phosphorus, and very good for that sort of pain. Sensitivities, chamomile, chamomilla. And if you feel that discomfort is definitely going along a nerve pathway, hypericum is the remedy that's really good for nerve issues. Can be used for all sorts of things to do with nerves. It's used if you damage your fingertips, children trapping their fingers in the doors, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Very good for that. And for damage to the coccyx as well, where there's a lot of nerves at the base of the spine. So those sorts of pains where it's going along the nerve and you can really feel it, like you sometimes feel it going up the face and so on.
Yeah, that's a horrible pain, that one. Yeah.
So, shall we leave pain there?
Okay, let's leave pain there. But it's great to know that you've got these different remedies for these different types of pain.
Oh yes, there are so
that's
many. I mean, that's just a very
wow, really. Okay.
Yeah. How about gums? Stuff that goes on with gums. Gums can bleed. There can be bleeding anywhere in the mouth. And phosphorus, the remedy made from phosphorus, can be very good. It's the first remedy that will come to mind with bleeding. You need to be perhaps a bit careful. Don't overdo it because of putting the body out of balance. It can be quite strong, but it's also very good for bleeding issues. One made from mercury, soluble mercury, mercsol, must be mercurius, solubilis. Does that sound suitably Latin?
It sounds very Latin, yeah.
So that's another one that's very good for bleeding gums, and also where there are gum issues, where things might be feeling quite unpleasant, there may be bad breath to do with it. Okay. So it might just ease. That might be indicating I better go and see a dentist about this.
Yeah.
But it might be that it just helps it enough to kickstart the body into clearing it, because the body will always want to clear what's going on and get us back into balance. So things like ulcers and abscesses, the body will be wanting to clear those. There'll be a build-up of pus or whatever possibly in the mouth, which can be quite unpleasant. Obviously, if it's under a tooth, that's a difficulty. But you might want to try the remedies of feverfew. You know, the plant feverfew, homeopathic feverfew. The opposite end of Nitak, which is nitric acid made into a remedy.
Wow.
But those are both very good for ulcers and abscesses. Calendula, silica, the remedy made from silica for draining, and pepper sulph. I should have thought what the main name is for that. I'll come back to it, but I'll put it on the list. What the normal name. But pepper sulph is very good for draining where there's an abscess. So actually draining it out and back into the body for absorption and clears it away. Gosh. But obviously, if it continues, it's the dentist.
Yeah.
Other things that may happen, implants. People sometimes have dental implants, and there's a remedy symphytum, which is made from comfrey, and that can be really good after implants to help the bone heal.
Heal and knit around it.
Impact. That's right.
Okay.
It's a very good remedy generally for bone healing. In fact, in olden days, it was referred to as knit bone. You know.
Okay. Yes.
Made from comfrey. In fact, comfrey leaves, if you've got a fracture, can be really good just placed on the fracture. You know,
gosh, amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? Really.
But you just think, well, that's where healing has come from.
Yeah.
And it's good to get back in touch with that. So symphytum is worth remembering should you have a fracture of any sort. I don't ever give it unless somebody has been for an X-ray and had something fixed, because it's so good.
Wow. Okay.
It's so good that it can get the bone healing.
Oh my goodness.
And if it's not in the right place,
it can cause problems then.
That's right. If it's not lined up,
it
might need to be broken and reset and everything.
Yeah.
Sure. So if somebody's got a fracture, I always say to have it X-rayed and possibly set. And if somebody's had it set and is in plaster or other devices, then symphytum can be really useful to speed on that healing of the bone. And that's what it's doing with the dental implant. It's getting that bone
brilliant.
to heal around. So I think those are the major issues.
Yeah.
There are remedies actually. If I was just thinking, if you've had treatment and you feel perhaps you've had an anaesthetic, a local anaesthetic or a general anaesthetic even.
Yeah.
There are remedies that can be used, alternative. Nux vomica, which is a nut, and sulphur, both in the potency of 6, just on alternate days, can actually help to detox.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
Residues of those medicines. So that can be quite useful in general life, really. I'll put these names on a sheet. So
great, Jenny. Thank you. Yeah.
So that's kind of taken us through perhaps the path of dental issues, trip to the dentist. But what we like to do is avoid going to the dentist if we can. So I thought it's worth a reminder of what you probably know about. There are natural mouthwashes, like there are mouthwashes with calendula, with hypericum, and a hypericum and calendula mix, which is really good if you've had any work done on gums.
Oh, right. Okay. And are these in the homeopathic level still, or are they herbal?
They are. Those will be herbal.
Okay.
So typically those are made by Walida.
Okay. That's good to know.
So Walida make herbal as well as homeopathic.
Oh, fantastic.
Do they put homeopathic? I'm not sure. I think they're probably the homeopathic tincture.
Wonderful. Wow, that's wonderful.
And in a similar pattern, there are, as you know, toothpastes that are not the conventional Colgate style. And one that I found really to be very good is a Walida one. Ratania.
Yes, I know that one.
Which really tightens up the gum. So if you're beginning to get a bit of gum issue and paying attention to thoroughly doing what we need to do, you know, the cleaning and the flossing and
little
all
brushes.
The Ratania toothpaste.
Really of course,
But I started to use that, and when I went to the hygienist the following time, they said, "Oh, what have you been doing differently?" And I said, "Well, nothing except for using a different toothpaste." And they looked it up while I was there.
Hey, that's really good, isn't it?
They said that's really useful because they have people who are allergic to.
Oh, is it the Corsadol one they use?
No. I'll think what it is, but allergic to something that's common in a lot of toothpaste.
Oh, fluoride.
It may be fluoride, yes.
Because some people are quite, sensitive to, or they don't want to take it.
They felt that this was something that they would then
Jenny, that's wonderful that you've put them onto that. That's great.
So that was good. So we've looked at, hopefully, ideally how to avoid going to our very lovely friendly dentists who will treat us as well as they can do. How to look at things to support ourselves, when we first get an inkling of something being a bit out of balance, if something's repeated, but knowing that we don't mess about, we go to the dentist if need be.
Yeah.
The one other thing I would mention is that, like lots of symptoms and symptom pictures, issues that come with the mouth, particularly if it's things like gums or abscesses, they don't just drop out from nowhere. They tend to be a reflection of the whole body.
Yeah.
So homeopathy, whilst working very well at the levels we've talked about with acute issues and maybe slightly chronic if things are coming back several times, but homeopathy works definitely at its best when it's working constitutionally. So working with the whole person and seeing, yes, if somebody's having repeated abscesses in their mouth, say, what else is going on? When did they start to get these? And what's the general picture of this person? What's going on in their life? And then a professional homeopath can look at that whole picture and say, well, actually, yes, I can see how you might have got a bit of support from Hepasulf in draining, but it will keep coming back because you haven't been able to get to the deep root of what's going on in your whole body.
Yeah.
So that's where professional homeopathy comes in, particularly helping people to work with their body and get their body back into balance at the deepest level, so that issues of whatever sort, including mouth and dental issues, don't need to arise because people are in a good balanced state of health. Okay,
Great.
so I'm hoping that's a bit useful. I'm sure that Sharon will be able to share my details. So if you've got any questions arising from this and you're wondering about one aspect or another of homeopathy with care of the mouth and teeth, that's fine. I'll pop my email or share that with Sharon. She can pass that on so that you can always get in touch. And I'm always happy to chat on the phone or to do Zoom or whatever. So don't feel that, if something isn't clear there, you can always get in touch. But hopefully it goes along with the other approaches that you've been looking at and will help things to go well for the future.
Thank you, Jenny. That's absolutely brilliant of you. Thank you so much. There's been so much in there. I've learned a lot about the different remedies and also, how we can support ourselves. And also like that reminder, like you say, it's, the lovely thing about homeopathy is like looking at the whole person, isn't it? And getting to the root of everything. So, but that's just, really great. So thank you so much for your time.
It's a real pleasure. Yes. Yeah. So thank you. Okay, all the best to everyone. Right.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.